So our final speaker is Colin Lindsay, who is Professor of Work and Employment Studies at Strathclyde Business School in Glasgow. Colin works closely with HR professionals to provide access to the latest research to promote evidence-based HRM. He leads Propel Hub, which is a project involving universities in all 4 nations of the UK, working in partnership with the CIPD, that has shaped cutting-edge evidence on what works in areas of HR practice such as conflict resolution, employee engagement, performance management, and employee well-being. So Colin is going to spend the next kind of 15 minutes talking to you about how the Propel Hub network can connect you to the latest research and evidence, as well as sharing insights from his own recent research on how job crafting can support employee-led innovation. So I will now hand over to you, Colin.
Thanks so much, Sophie. Good afternoon, colleagues. It's a real pleasure to join you all. As Sophie was saying, my own team at the UKRI Propel Hub works not just closely with CIPD, but CIPD is one of our key partners. So without the work of Sophie and all the other fantastic people at CIPD, I wouldn't get to do the fun stuff that I get to do, which I thought I'd share with you for a few minutes today. I am a university lecturer, therefore I do have a PowerPoint. I hope it's not death by PowerPoint. It is short, and it will just help keep me on track. And I'll try to rattle through them very quickly, the small number of slides very quickly, and then hopefully we'll have time for discussion, if that's okay. So I'll share my screen, hopefully. I'm hoping that colleagues can see my screen. I'm looking at Sophie for a nod.
Yes, I think we can, yes.
Okay, thanks so much. So I've really just, I don't have much to share. I have a big offer though, hopefully, or at least an interesting offer to the people on this call. And it's about the work that myself and some colleagues in other universities across the UK does to try and look at the best possible evidence on what happens in workplaces around progressive people management practice and progressive workplace practice, with a view to supporting people to be more healthy, engaged, innovative, and productive in the workplace. And my guess is that a lot of people in this call are also interested in those things. And the real point I want to make in the next few minutes is this is a shared interest. Part of our day-to-day job as academics is not to sit in an ivory tower and read books of philosophy. It's to go out there and engage with the people management community and with the business community with a hope of learning from you and learning from your experiences, but also bringing the latest and we hope most robust and most helpful research and intelligence to bear on practical workplace solutions. So my big thing today that I really want to get across is that we're open for business as an academic community, and we really very much want to engage with the people management community to take the stuff that we know. I'm not an expert in what you know, you're an expert in what you know, but I do and my colleagues do have access to some really interesting research and intelligence, and we want to work with the people management community to try and help that research and intelligence land in the most effective way so that it can inform evidence-based HRM. Sorry, I said I wouldn't ramble on, and there I've taken 5 minutes to do the first slide. But here's a second slide that basically just tries to reiterate that point. Universities, hopefully you are connected to the university sector, but if you're not, universities are no longer an ivory tower. Universities want to and are required to go out there and engage and impact, which is the jargon that we use in the university world, with the business community and specifically with the people management community. It's not a nice to have, it's an absolute requirement. If I don't demonstrate that I've been out there in the world working with the people management community, I have an unpleasant conversation with my boss when it comes to performance management at the end of the year. So it's something that we're all required to do, and it's something that the people who I work with, want to do. As I was saying, we are not experts in the people management consultancy community and an independent support community, but we do have some expertise, we hope, in doing research and building research that is hopefully going to deliver practical insights for workplace practice and for people management. That's what I do, and all the things I'm going to tell you about in the next few minutes are all done by researchers who want to make a difference. So if we can work with you guys, hopefully we can take the research that we do and find a way to help it land with perhaps your own work and with the companies and HR professionals who you work with. It's not just me saying this. Your tax pounds pay for the work that we do. Much of the work that I'm going to talk about in the next couple of minutes is supported by UK Research and Innovation. That's the UK's national innovation agency. And they fund, as well as funding a lot of really fantastic AI and robotics projects and lots of other really cool stuff to drive innovation in the UK economy. They also fund people like me to go out and work with people like you. And so, for instance, some interesting examples over the last few years of a big heap of money that UKRI, UK Research and Innovation, has funded in the people management space, all of which I've worked on, but there's lots of other projects as well. So for instance, we recently completed a project called Management Practice for Employee Engagement. So that's basically the UK Research and Innovation, like I say, massive UK national agency, finally catching up with the idea that employee engagement is a really important agenda if we're going to drive innovation and productivity and indeed well-being in the broader UK economy. So UK Research and Innovation is very interested in the kind of stuff that the people on this call are interested in, things like employee engagement. I'm also involved in a UKRI project called Interact, about the future of work in manufacturing. That's about how we can harness digital investments in manufacturing, but also use that to improve people's job quality. So rather than just thinking about digitization in manufacturing as a way of firing people, which in some cases there might be difficult decisions to be made, but it's also a way of augmenting and supporting people in the workplace to be even more productive and innovative. And then I run a UK Research and Innovation project called Propel Hub, which I'll speak about in more detail in a second. The whole point of all this work is that we feel, as an academic community, that we want to go out there, and we're being supported by your taxpayers to go out there to generate really cutting-edge research by working with HR professionals and with people in the workplace. And crucially, this is a key thing. It's not about then writing scholarly reports, although we do a little bit of that as well. It's about turning that evidence into actionable intelligence, stuff that can actually make a difference in the workplace. And the only way we can do that is by learning together with people management professionals. So like I say, our door is open. I said something about this Propel Hub. I run it, so I usually have to try and remember what Propel means, but it's in front of me on the screen here. So Propel Hub stands for Productivity Outcomes of Workplace Practice for Engagement and Learning. We're a consortium of 9 universities plus the CIPD. The CIPD is an equal partner with all of the universities involved in this project. And over the last couple of years, we've had loads of events. We've created 180 web resources that have reached thousands of people in the people management community. What are we interested in? We're interested in what we hope and what we think are areas of workplace practice that can really make a difference for the people management community. So things like wellbeing interventions, what works in different places in wellbeing interventions. My own area of expertise is around job crafting, the whole idea that we can empower people to shape their job from the bottom up to drive innovation. We've got a fantastic team working on conflict management. We've got people who work with managers around perceptions of risk and how you calculate risk in people management investments. We've got a fantastic team at Aston University who constantly challenge what I do in the same way that the people on this call might, to say, what does this mean for small businesses? How do you take all this evidence and apply it in a micro enterprise that perhaps doesn't have a lot of capacity? So we've got a fantastic team that does that. So again, my open call to you, my open offer to you is to say, please engage with us. And in terms of making those kind of actions practical, we do lots and lots of things that we hope are of interest to the people management community and to the businesses that we work with. So for instance, we do what we might call hacks with employers. We send our teams out into there with an evidence base on job crafting or conflict resolution or lots of other areas of workplace practice. And we sit down with employers and listen to them, listen to their challenges, and try to use the intelligence and the evidence that we've got to help them solve problems. We do things like What Works webinars, where we share practice on where we have intervened with businesses and it's worked effectively. We've done lots of joined up events, so we've worked very closely with the National Health Service Healthcare People Management Association, where we've looked at these very specific challenges faced by people managers in the NHS and what we can do to support that. I will go through all these things, but I'll go right up at the top here. We've helped to fund and develop a really cool benchmarking tool called How Good Is Your Job, which is built out of Cardiff University, which is really helping people managers and employees at the front line and line managers to explore job quality in a very accessible way, and perhaps to build business cases for investments in job quality and better people management practice. How many more of these things? I've only got 2 minutes left, so I'm going to finish very quickly. We've done lots of other things that we hope are helpful for the people management community.
Colin, just to say, take a few more minutes. It's all right. Don't we have 4 minutes? Because
Okay.
This is great.
But these people are busy, so I'll try to be as quick as I can. If you go to our website and if you wish to connect with the work that we do, we've got lots of practical insights that might be helpful for you and for the companies that you work with. So, for instance, my colleagues at Westminster University working with ACAS are doing an extensive randomized control trial on the impact of training line managers in micro conflict resolution practices. So I think we all know, I'm sure many of the businesses you work with, the amount of productivity that's lost to microaggression in the workplace, not the kind of thing you would normally take to ACAS as a major industrial dispute, but kind of micro conflict within teams. So our colleagues are, as I was saying, working with ACAS and carrying out this randomized control trial to try and work out what are the right kind of investments in training line managers to manage conflict more effectively, and how might that deliver better well-being, better productivity for your teams. I'm only going to do a couple of these things because we're so busy. We have my colleagues at the University of East Anglia have developed a work wellbeing toolkit that helps businesses to look at the costs and benefits, again, of different sorts of wellbeing interventions in the workplace. A couple of things that I do just to finish off. I and my colleagues have developed with CIPD. What does SPARK mean? It means a Sustainable Practice Action Research Community. So that basically just means we've developed a community of academics and HR practitioners who come together on a regular basis and co-create ideas together. So we as academics listen to the HR professionals in the room and try to work out how our research can fit with those needs. And the HR professionals are patient enough to listen to some of our most recent research. So that's become a sustainable area of practice where we consistently meet, and there's an open invitation to come along or to agilely to link in to those events. Last couple of things, as I was saying, we do our own workshops on things like boundary spanning leadership, job crafting, feed forward feedback techniques. As I was saying, if you're thinking, is Colin and his team in some way a competitor to the network that goes on here? No, because as I said right at the beginning, you've already paid for all this. Your tax pounds pay for us to do this really interesting research, to develop these tools. And all we really want to do is to maximize the reach and the impact of the work that we do. And networks of professionals like yourself are super helpful for helping us to do that. So if they go back to go down to the very bottom little sphere here, if you go to our newsletter on the Propel Hub website, if you join the newsletter, we will inform you of the webinars and resources and events and hackathons and various other things that we do. And we'd very much like to work with the people in this room. This is just some visual stimulation, my final slide, to make the point that if you go to our website, you'll find lots of information about what we do. That's up on the left-hand side there. You'll find specific toolkits and tools and resources that you might want to look at or discuss with our colleagues or even use. You'll find that in the top right there. Bottom left there, that's me speaking with some restaurant managers. Hopefully they don't look too bored. So they look pretty engaged there, I think. So we actually go out and we want to work with groups of people management professionals. And as I was saying, there's a thing that we do called SPARK, Sustainable Practice Action Research Community. Half of the people on the bottom right-hand picture are academics. Half of them are HR practitioners. We come together on a regular basis and share and co-produce knowledge together. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, stop presenting. And just to finish off by saying thanks so much for listening as I rattle through all that material. But the takeaway for me is really just to say, as I was saying, we're open for business. We want our research to find, to become actionable intelligence. The only way we can do it is to work with HR professionals who actually know what it's like to engage with businesses on the ground. If you'd like to hear more about what we do, we'd like to hear much more about what you do. So please stay in touch. Thanks for listening.
Oh, that was wonderful, Colin, and such a true professional to get through so much information in such a short amount of time. I think we could have listened to you for the full hour. So thank you. And can I just check with you, Colin, are we able to share your slides with the group? Is that okay? Great. So I will circulate the slides afterwards. A very quick goodbye from me. Thank you so much for joining us for this launch meeting. I've really enjoyed it. A special thanks to Kay and Colin for sharing your insights and your experience. It's been wonderful. You will shortly be receiving a feedback email. Please do complete it so that we can start to develop and grow this network around your wants and your needs. And I'll also be sending you an email directly with the slides and resources from today. Just a little bit of news from me. I am moving on from the CIPD at the end of this month. So I'd just like to very quickly in the last minute introduce you to my colleague Kaylee, who is also an engagement manager for the Northern England team, who will be taking over from me for the last few words.
Yes, hello everybody. Lovely to meet you all. As Sophie mentioned, I'm the other engagement manager in the CIPD Northern England team. Lovely to see so many people from the North area on the call today, particularly in the North East where I am based. I've been seeing all your messages pop up, so please be prepared for a LinkedIn request coming in there. A couple of things from me in the meantime. If you think you might like to support the network, we are looking for people to act as champions to help us develop and grow. So if you are interested in finding out more, I can talk you through what the expectations would be. And please get in touch with me or the team if that's the case. We are planning on meeting quarterly for this network, and our next meeting will be early September. I'll pop out some information to you once we have all the details organised. Going forwards, we'll be moving to Teams for all meetings, so apologies if there's been a little bit of a mix-up this morning if you were in the Zoom page, and we'll keep you updated on plans for the future. But please do keep in touch with us in the meantime. Lovely to see you all, and thank you all for coming along today. Looking forward to working with you in the future. I think we're finished on time, Sophie.
We did it.
I think we managed.
Thank you so much to everyone. I hope you have a really, really good day, and we'll be in touch soon. A huge thank you. I've really enjoyed the meeting, and I hope you have too.
Lovely. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.